the Texas redistricting case, which is now at the U.S. Supreme Court. The justices will decide the fate of the highly fought over congressional maps in the Lone Star State. Justice Samuel Alito already gave Texas Republicans a partial victory when he granted an administrative stay in the case November 21st. That set aside a ruling by two federal judges in Texas who blocked the 2025 maps after concluding Texas Republicans illegally racially gerrymandered the districts so they could potentially win up to 5 extra seats in next year's midterm elections. As a result of Justice Alito's action, the 2025 maps are in place for now, and the Supreme Court could extend their administrative stay. I spoke with Dr. Bill Criss, a legal and political historian in Texas, about the next steps, what they mean, and whether the December 8th deadline for candidates to file their campaign paperwork still matters.
At this point, it doesn't really matter because it's as if the order of the federal court in El Paso doesn't exist. Unless and until the Supreme Court does something different, either by way of confirming Justice Alito's stay or by way of deciding the case, the stay is in effect. And so as things sit right now, the districts that were carved up by the legislature in special session this summer are the districts that people will run in. And so it is now squarely, the ball is squarely in the Supreme Court's corner for them to decide what to do.
And so you're saying that December 8th, at this point, the December 8th filing deadline is not a hurdle because the 2025 maps are in place, and unless that changes, all the candidates who are filing should actually be thinking about the new maps.
Yeah, that's the law. I mean, the law of the case at this point is that there was a preliminary injunction issued by the district court in El Paso, that preliminary, which threw out the new maps and reinstated the old maps. And there are legal questions about whether the court even had the authority to reinstate the old maps. But setting that aside, that preliminary injunction, which is not a final judgment, that preliminary injunction went up on appeal to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has undone or stayed, not undone, but stayed, which is to say prevented the application of that preliminary injunction.
Do you think that the court will come out and say, hey, go with the maps that are go with the 2025 maps of the legislature? I mean, some clear signal that that's okay to do?
Well, a clear signal would be an extension of Justice Alito's stay, supported by a majority of the members of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
If that were to come out, and that could come out, next week. If that were to come out, I think it's fairly safe. I think legal commentators would agree. It would be very unusual under those circumstances to expect the final decision of the court after extensive briefing to be significantly different.
I spoke with both the Republican and Democratic state party chairmen about the developments, and both GOP Chairman Abraham George and Democratic Chairman Kendall Scudder told me their parties consider the 2025 maps to be in place.